Hello, I'm Penelope and I've been in fashion for over 20 years and I'm here to share with you everyday style, fashion and shopping tips. Make sure you subscribe to get all of my helpful tips for your own wardrobe, ways to shop easier and outfit smarter. Hello and welcome back to another podcast. I'm Penelope, stylist, fashion blogger, and someone that's been in the industry for a very long time. And I get asked a lot about cool, casual, everyday style. So my last podcast was a while ago. I've had a bit of a break. Life's just got crazy busy, but I'm back to share with you some helpful style tips as we really launch into winter fashion. It is really getting cold out there, and it's been a great reminder for me to help you guys with some tips, some really, really simple, easy tips with your wardrobe, with shopping, and to help you outfit with ease. Well, last podcast I did was a while ago. It was Gimme Accessories. Absolutely loved interviewing Lydia. Check it out. It's just the coolest brand, the coolest product. So I will have some more fashionistas on very soon for interviews, but today is really just about your wardrobe, helping you out as this weather gets colder and helping you get through the hardest months of the year that are the coldest and the rainiest, and you get bored with boots, jeans, coats, knits. So I've got 3 tips for today, and my number one first tip is to rejig your wardrobe. So you should be switching it around. You may have done this by now, but if you haven't, now's the time. June, July is the coldest. So we really want to have front and center in our wardrobe the items that we're going to wear the most, which are going to be the things that keep you warm: knits, long sleeve tops and shirts, jeans, trousers, maybe long skirts, as well as coats and layering pieces, and even maybe thermal items you might wear underneath clothes to keep you super warm. For example, Uniqlo heat tech items I absolutely love. I can tag a few of them underneath this podcast so you can actually see some of the items that I live in during the colder months. In terms of shoes, you want to have your sneakers, your boots, all of those closed-toe shoes and flats right front and center of your wardrobe. You should have moved or be moving all of those summer and light breezy items to the back of your wardrobe. There's absolutely no point in having a beautiful linen dress front and center when you're trying to dress to stay warm. So what this does is it's going to make it very clear what you own and how you can style it, and it's going to make you get ready quicker, which is what we all want. So you should be jumping in the shower, thinking about what is front and center, what you wore the day before or the week before, and what you can now style for the day ahead that you're going to feel comfortable in, that's going to keep you warm, that you like, you're happy, you feel confident in. If you don't, maybe you need to think about moving it on. If it doesn't fit, move it on. Maybe it's a knit that's peeled and you need to look at maybe purchasing a new knit for the season. Maybe you've got a coat you love but you've worn it so much. Maybe invest in a new coat for the season. So this is where your shopping list comes into it. So number one tip is to move your wardrobe around, put all of the spring summer items to the back. I even suggest, like, if you don't have a big wardrobe, to package them up into suitcases under the bed or in the garage, or I even put stuff in the kids' bedrooms. I put all of my summer frocks into my son's room because he just doesn't have many clothes. He's shorts and t-shirts all year round. So I put all of my summer frocks and even like tanks, shorts, anything that I just can't layer in any way. And then of course all my sandals I sort of put to the back as well, because they're all items that it's really hard to layer even with a knit or a coat. You're really just not going to be wearing them. So put them away, put them aside, hide them. So front and center, you're going to have your key winter pieces that fit you, that you love, that you wear, that you can style easily, and that you feel great in. Number 2, my tip is to then consider creating a shopping list, because you might have already started to do some autumn shopping. You might have added a few pieces in recently that are layering items. You might have considered a trench coat. You might have looked into flat shoes or boots because the weather's getting cooler. You might have even started to shop knitwear. I'm obviously in Sydney, so we're a little bit more delayed, but I definitely know that Melbourne and other states, you can start to get into these items a lot earlier. A really key time to really switch over. So I've sort of just been watching all the fashion through autumn, and now I'm starting to really think about what I want to add in. The shops have dropped, and online as well, not just in stores, but they've dropped so much winter product that I feel like I just sort of want to wait and see a few more coats arriving, and then I'm going to jump onto something that I really love. I have a little secret to share that I guess working in fashion for so many years and also living overseas in Canada, I love coats and boots. They're also one of the most expensive items to buy, but I have a little treat that I give myself every winter, and that is to get a new coat and one new pair of boots, one each. Now, I have to move on a coat. So there's got to be one that I move on, a coat or a jacket of some sort, and perhaps a pair of boots or a pair of shoes. So it's all about, take one out, add one in. And I certainly don't just buy the first thing I see. I think about what coats I have and what colours I have, how comfortable they are, what brands they are, what fabrication they are, and I really plan what I'm going to buy. So this year I'm really looking at chocolate boots because I've already got a black pair of boots, I've got a snake pair of boots, I've got a burgundy pair of boots, and I really don't have a brown knee-high boot. And as we all know, if you've followed my Instagram, if you've listened to my podcast earlier in the year, brown is such a key colour for the season. Chocolate brown in suede, in lots of beautiful leathers, but also in non-leather items as well. So that's my little secret. I do treat myself to coat and boots, but that's also because I know I'm going to wear them so much. I actually love jeans and boots. I will get something that's a kitten heel or flat, and I will wear them so much. So for me, I know that with my lifestyle, running around after kids, working from home, juggling, being at sport on fields, I know that I'm going to get so much wear out of coats. Where I tend to budget a bit more might be with knitwear. I tend to not invest as much, but I'm changing my mindset this year because I have found that by having that mindset, I'm buying new knitwear every year. So I might buy things that have a wool blend that are going to keep me warm, but they may not be that expensive. But of course, then I'm finding that they are peeling quicker, they're losing their shape, or I just don't love them as much because I haven't spent a lot on them and invested in something that I do really love that is of higher quality. So I am changing my mindset on that. Another trick that I have to keep super warm when I'm layering and being able to still maximize my wardrobe is to have the heat tech items I talked about earlier. The Uniqlo heat tech items or any brand that you find is good layering pieces right up against your skin. So they're really, really thin. Great to tuck in and layer. You can definitely wear another top over and tuck it in. It's they're not thick, and they are so warm and cozy. And I'm just someone that doesn't like to be cold to the bone, so I find them great. For example, I might wear them under this sort of leather jacket, and that's going to keep me a lot warmer than just a cotton top, or even wear one under a knit that then I don't need the coat because I've got the beautiful heat tech top and the knit, so I'm really, really warm and cozy. I might even layer a trench coat because I don't need that coat and a heavy item over the top. So very good for layering. I know they've also got tights, which is fantastic for people that want to wear tights with boots. So that is my second tip, is to create a bit of a shopping list by really working out what you're missing. Working out what you've bought in the past that may not work for you anymore, or might need replacing. As I say, some of my knits I am going to be moving on, and I would like to buy one or two new knits this year, but maybe invest in a little bit better quality that are going to last more than one season. And I guess create a list that's just 2 or 3 items, maybe 4, depending what you need. But it's a great way to then stick to your little shopping plan. It means that you don't shop around as much, you don't browse as much, you're very direct with what you go to in a store or online. So you might go direct to the coats in store when you're shopping, or you might go direct to knitwear that you're looking for colour to add some colour into your wardrobe because it's feeling very bland, or maybe you've got lots of colour and you just want some beautiful neutrals. That is my tip number 2. And tip number 3 is a little bit different, but it's try something new. I think a lot of us, depending on who's listening, but a lot of us stick to what we know, what we like, what we've bought before. That can become repetitive, and as you get on later in life, you realize you've just got the same stuff over and over. You're getting bored with your wardrobe, and that's turning you into saying, I have nothing to wear. Now, you do have stuff to wear. It's sitting in your wardrobe. You're not walking around naked. You definitely have clothes to wear, but you're bored with them. And so you might be a t-shirt and jeans person, or you might be black trousers and black tops. You just like to wear black, or maybe you're someone you love florals. You really, really love to wear florals. The problem with that is you can then tend to buy the same thing over and over again. Your eye's drawn to it. You feel comfortable buying it because you know you wear it, but then you are doing the same pattern. So break it. Try something new this winter. So maybe try a new colour. So there's been so much of that cherry red around, but it's moving into plums and burgundies, and it's just so rich and delicious. And you can do it in knitwear, a coat. You could even do a beautiful suit. You could just do a great pair of trousers. You might even do boots, leather boots in burgundy, or a handbag. Keep it easy. But as I said, that's just a list of things already by adding colour when you might already just own some neutrals and, very basic colours and stripes. You might look at adding in a new colour this season. There's also a lot of green around. Now there's a lot of khaki coming in and olive greens and forest greens in these beautiful fabrics, in beautiful knits and silk options as well. But just a hot tip, I think that this is also going to move into sage greens for spring. So even if you buy the dark green for winter, just remember that I think we're going to move into a lot of those lighter pastel sort of sage greens. So you might even think about buying that now. Wear it now with jeans, wear that colour in a coat over your black outfit. Do a sort of more sage green colour that you're then going to take through to spring and wear with t-shirt and jeans. Another way that you can introduce something different in your wardrobe and try something new is consider a different shape. Maybe you've always gone for straight leg trousers. Maybe try a wide leg in trousers or in jeans. Maybe you've opted for fine knits because you like to tuck them in and layer them under blazers. Maybe try a chunky knit. Try something big and oversized, and maybe it's mohair and it's fluffy or it's striped. You might even try a coloured coat. You might own a black coat or a charcoal coat. Why not try a colour? Go for something that's a tan or a burgundy or even, as I said, a khaki. And the other tip I have that you can consider something new is textures. You might look at adding in some leather to your wardrobe or leather look items like a jacket or a bomber jacket or even a leather skirt. As I said, it doesn't have to be leather, but it looks like that sort of fabrication and texture. You might look at adding in suede. There's so much suede around. I'm loving the suede bombers, now coats coming in, but there's also the skirts. Trousers, oh my gosh, there's shirts to match the trousers, there's everything, but there's also accessories. So you don't own any suede, maybe consider a suede bag in a beautiful tan or chocolate colour, or suede shoes. There's so many ballet flats and lots of beautiful boots around, so suede could be something that you try. There's also beautiful fabrics like lace and sheer fabrics and sheer silks, and there's weaves in bags and belts. So think about how you can add in some texture to your winter wardrobe that you can wear and have lots of variety with. For example, like a woven belt. So it's leather, but it's got a weave pattern where it's all sort of plaited and woven in. That can look so beautiful with a pair of jeans and a black knit. You're adding texture, you're adding leather, you're adding a buckle at the front, so you're giving this really polished look. So that's the same with a suede boot. You could be wearing just a simple black dress, but a chocolate suede boot could be so beautiful to add in texture, warmth, colour, and not just be a black dress with black shoes. There's also lots of leopard around, lots of snake around, and that can be so fun as well in flats, boots, heels. There's trousers around if you're bold enough to wear a fabulous leopard trouser. And of course, there's lots of non-leather items for those as well. And of course, handbags and belts. You can definitely do accessories. Snake belt can instantly elevate black trousers and a white top. A snake print bag can instantly elevate a navy shirt dress and flats. So thinking about texture and thinking about not just your basics or the items that you already own and shop regularly, go outside the box. Try something new this winter. And I'm not suggesting to buy 5 things. I'm just suggesting one thing, one snake handbag or one leopard pair of shoes or maybe a plaited belt, something that's going to just really mix up your wardrobe and elevate what you already own. So it's really not making a big dramatic change. It's just adding in something to make variety and to make outfits pop and give you a point of difference to get you through the winter months, the colder months that we're all tucking in, wearing long pants and jeans and lots of knits and coats. So I hope that's been helpful. I will definitely put all of these tips below underneath this podcast so that you can read them, screenshot them, but also shop some of the tips that I give. And I'll definitely be back with another podcast and another great guest coming up very soon. Happy styling.